In our fully automated enterprise, we leverage AI to the fullest extent. Let me show you how our mortgage officer can benefit from the application of AI in 3 different ways. First, you saw Tony leverage AI to determine what to automate. Next, we'll use AI right in the workflow as we import a machine learning model to make a prediction on this applicant's likelihood to default. And finally, we'll even show you how AI helps us build a more resilient automation. When it comes to evaluating a loan applicant, accurate prediction of whether a client will default on their loan is critical. Normally, a mortgage officer asks for information from their client to help understand their current situation. Things like debt-to-income ratio, credit score, and length of employment. Based on his past experience and historical data, he determines if they're likely to default and enters that prediction back into the CRM. Let's start there and show you how we integrate AI into the workflow. Then I'll show you how AI assists us in building a more resilient automation. Okay, so let's see how this works today. As new applications come in, the mortgage officer will add them to a spreadsheet, and then at the end of the day, he has an automation that he's running in order to add those details into the CRM application. Let's see it working in action. This is the automation that he is running. What it does is that it opens the CRM application, it goes to the loan screen, and then it starts typing in the loan details. As those details get filled in, they are added to our CRM application, but one thing that you might notice is that the prediction to default is not filled in, and that's because it has not been yet implemented by the RPA developer. And this is exactly what we're going to do next. We will be implementing that new functionality. In order to do this, one of the data scientists in the company has created a prediction machine learning model. And that prediction model has already been trained with some training data. And the training data is just based on past data that was already added into the system. And then a couple of machine learning skills were created to expose this to be used in Studio. So let's go into Studio and see how we will go about using them. To do this, what you need to do is bring the machine learning skill activity into the automation that you might have been building, and then you can select which skill to use. In our case, we're going to use a classifier, okay, this specific automation. The input is going to be a JSON file, okay, and then the output of the machine learning skill is going to go into this other JSON file. So at this point, we are calling the machine learning model and we're getting back the answer. Next, what we need to do is actually use that data. So for that, we have a create loan workflow here that is opening the browser and is going and typing all the loan details. And then at the end, it is clicking the save button. Now, what we will do now is actually go here on this page and start typing in something in this specific field, which is the whether the loan will default or not. So let's see how we would do that. First, let me quickly introduce you to a new functionality in Studio. It's called Object Repository. And Object Repository, what it is, you can think about it as a database of UI elements that your automation is interacting with. Database that can be reused across multiple workflow files, but also across multiple automations. In here, we have our application, the CRM application. There's multiple screens in this application, and one of the screens is the Create Loan screen. With the Create Loan screen, you can see all the fields that we are interacting with. And we are going to add a new field, and this is going to be the default prediction field. Okay, it's an input field, and we are going to indicate the actual element. As we do that, I can click on the element that I want to type into. In our case, is this particular text field. And one thing that you notice now is that not only we've identified the element, but we've also identified what we call an anchor. And you can think about the anchor as the label of the element. The interesting thing is that at runtime, both the anchor and the element are going to be used in order to have a better identification of this specific element. So this application might change over time slightly, and our automation will continue to work, will be more reliable this way. And each one of these elements, for example, the anchor, it can be identified using a selector or a fuzzy selector in this case, as well as an image. So again, it has multiple identification methods, which really makes it more reliable. So we're going to confirm and save this new element that we've just added, and then I'm just going to drag and drop it here just before clicking save. I choose to type into, and the value that I'm going to type is this one. Okay, now that we have our automation built, let me go back here and sign out of my CRM application and go back into Studio and run the automation. Again, it will open Chrome, and it will go and log in into my account and start typing in the data. Except that this time, it will also type in the prediction to default. And now you can see the two values that we've just added here. One has predicted to default and one did not. And this is all built on top of the machine learning model that I was mentioning to you earlier. To recap, using a machine learning model, we were able to automatically predict whether a loan would default. The prediction was based on past data. Then, our new UI automation capabilities seamlessly identify the UI elements that robots need to interact with, making it even easier for an RPA developer to build resilient automations. As you can see, in a fully automated enterprise, AI is everywhere.